Like everybody loves her.
That's right. And here's a fun statistic. Apparently, in New Zealand, the Maori people have the highest rates of incarceration in the world.
Hey, anyway, Mon, as I was telling you before, if you want to search up companies and find out who's doing what, or the police or anything, you look at Dun and Bradstreet. So anyway, I was doing a bit of research and this is what I found, okay?
What?
So we're going to have a look here. We're going to have a look at Fonterra, okay? Here's a company in New Zealand, right, that makes good, and it's got its sales revenues here, 14 billion and 13 billion for the two subsidiaries, and this one here is another, like a shell company. So we'll look over here, right, what do we got here? Police, we'll look for the police, right? Look, there we go, New Zealand Police. And look, they make bloody $1.1 billion.
What the fuck? How? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I know how.
Yeah, whatever they're doing.
What's what's the prisons?
But here's the clincher. Yeah, look, we've got a total of, in New Zealand, we find out that there's actually 9,857 people in prison in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
But look at this. Department of Corrections. $1 fucking trillion, man. $1 trillion, man. Fonterra only makes 14 billion.
Wait. 8,000. Okay, what's one? Go into your fucking math thing. What's 1 trillion divided by 8,000? Because how are they making that? That must be the sovereign bonds.
They're borrowing it in our names. Exactly.
I heard that New Zealand was the only place.
A trillion is a number with two distinctions. 1 million.
Yeah, okay. Do the math. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay, so 1 million or 10 to the 12. So that's a 1 with 12 zeros on the end of it.
Go to the calculator. Yeah. Calculate 1 trillion divided by 8,000, okay? Now listen to this. New Zealand is the only place in the world that has... Oh, fuck, what is it? It's sovereign bonds or something. And that's what they're doing. They're like...
They're trading our bonds and they're borrowing against them.
So everything else, the gold standard has gone. Like it was...
And this will tell you how much they're expecting each bond to be worth, or roughly, per annum.
Okay, listen to me.
Oh, look at that. $125 million.
Per person?
Per individual year.
Yeah, how is that? Okay, I'm going to tell you something and shut up.
Okay.
New Zealand is the only country in the world, apparently, well, one of very few countries, that still has the gold standard, but it's only the sovereign bonds. Okay, so everyone else's fiat currency and the gold standard went out in 1933. So when the bankers came in 1913, their 99-year lease expired in 2012, right? So that was 100 years.
Zoom in on this because I'm going to open it.
So that's why Māoris, there's so many Māoris in jail. It's because Māoris are worth more.
Check this out. Zoom in so people can see that it's actually Department of Corrections, New Zealand.
Yeah. Okay. So Māoris in the cage is worth more than honkies in the cage. And that's why they won't stop putting Māoris in jail.
They won't stop putting anyone in jail. They'll just lock everyone up.
Well, they get more out of Māori sovereign bonds, right?
They get more for looking after them.
Okay, so try and tap out of the government. Just like exit the New Zealand government. We show you how on the website. Just exit them because they're just abusing the system. Like
$1 trillion corrections, locking up people.
So $125 million per person, and that's why you can't get your family out of jail. Okay?
Because it's worth that much to them.
Yeah.
Look, $1 trillion.
That's why.
It's unbelievable.
And that's why the lawyers and the judges have shares in Mount Eden and
Corrections.
That's right. So there you go, children.
It's and if you want to look for yourself, go to Dun and Bradstreet.
Yeah.
And search corrections, and then filter. Where are we?
Oh yeah, and also, are these are the bonds papers, right? This is what they trade. So they're trading in slave bonds or bondsmen. These are the court papers.
Yeah,
it shows you penal sum.
We'll
It's
do another
scammy as.
The Waikeria prison protest escalated to a new level overnight as a massive fire burned buildings. 16 inmates remain on the roof of one of them. You can just see some of their silhouettes against the blaze. We've learned at least 4 of those prisoners are 501s sent here from Australia. Newshub has also been asked to take part in negotiating an end to the standoff. The fire has so far destroyed a major part of the minimum to maximum security jail near Te Awamutu, as Shannon Redstall reports.
The night sky lit up as the oldest part of Waikeria prison burned. The inmates were small silhouettes next to the leaping flames they watched for 2 hours. The 16 men were spending their 4th night protesting the allegedly inhumane conditions at the maximum security jail. 12 hours later, smoke continues to waft out of the complex.
I mean, they've been treated like stray animals, like thrown in a pound.
The uncle of 3 men worried about his nephews.
This is definitely not a right, because if it was a right, I'd be the first one there firing bullets at them. This is a protest. All they want is just normal, standard jail hygiene requirements. That's all they want.
Newshub understands at least 4 of the men defiantly protesting on the roof are 501 deportees from Australia. Their family members say they're willing to die for this cause, but like Corrections, desperately want this standoff to come to a safe conclusion. Corrections says the situation remains highly volatile and dangerous. They're particularly concerned about the weapons they say the men have been fashioning out of items they've found. They've also managed to get hold of body armour and batons. Negotiations are ongoing with the men, but tonight a possible solution from the families.
Let the hub and I go into the men and we'll have them down. This can stop today.
Gunio is asking Newshub to join her inside the prison to record proof of the conditions the men are protesting about. She says they also want a written document signed by the men and Corrections to agree on a way forward.
Proof, just proof. Sorry to say that there's the trust. There is no more shake of a hand. It is all based on trust, and I trust Hub to hear our men's voices.
But in another headache for Corrections, there are now fears the unrest could extend to other parts of the jail. The mongrel mob says it's getting calls from inmates in those areas without power or water, something Newshub hasn't been able to independently verify.
The ripple effects are starting to pour in that way, where they don't have, no regular showers. There's no TV allowed. Most of it's all locked down, and the only time they get unlocked is when they come out for their meals.
Corrections Minister Kelvin Davis is yet to speak publicly about the unrest at Waikeria, while his National Party counterpart has turned up at the gates.
To send a message to Kelvin Davis that he needs to get down here and actually ensure that the people responding to this, Corrections and all of the emergency service responders, have all the support they need to bring this to an end and restore law and order at Waikeria Prison as quickly as possible.
As the standoff stretches into a 5th evening, there's little sign the violence of this siege is coming to an end.
OK, Shannon, what's the latest from the prison?
Well, just before we've gone to air tonight, Corrections has confirmed the unrest continues and the situation is ongoing. The tensions are rising on all sides as time ticks on, and there's an increasing number of family members turning up at the gates of Waikeria. The woman in our story, Gunio, she's been in regular contact with those inmates but says she hasn't heard from them since 2:30 this morning. The 16 men have been given multiple opportunities to surrender, but so far those negotiations have been unsuccessful, and Corrections says the risks are only growing as they are fashioning makeshift weapons, the buildings are becoming unstable, and there are toxic fumes escaping from the destruction.
Shannon, thank you very much for the update.
And you've told me my name's not on this, so I mustn't have court.
Okay, team leader who? Who's actually not the team leader?
I've been locked up.
Oi, what's your name before you go? What's your name so we can say you were here? Huh? Okay, sweet. You were here on this day.
Can we get this moving? People have court now.
Let us in, man, you racist.
Like, what are you up to? Are you doing your job?
No.
No.
No, look at all these people waiting to get in, man. We can't even get in.
You've been up yet, though. Or they not letting you up either.
Who I was speaking to.
And by road chief It's Jono on. Let's just get Jono.
Tonight, the team leader's name I was speaking to. I have forgot you have to
Did you
identify
caught?
yourself. Okay?
Did you hear Carmen's name? No. Yeah, did you hear Carmen? No. She was just sitting here.
Yeah. Are they not identifying themselves?
No, they're not.
No, and they have to.
But they have to. That one's Petera.
Yeah.
Okay, that one there. So we'll put all the blame on that one there.
Where's his badge?
It's down the bottom on his thing.
Yeah.
So we'll just put the blame onto Petera
So
as
that-
into the conduct of
They're
that
not
person.
displaying their badges.
Yeah.
They're not letting all of these people into the court in Rotorua.
Yeah.
What's the date today? 28th? 28th of May 2020, Rotorua Court. They're not letting people in. They can't even come in to defend themselves. This guy here is,
That one there,
he's like the gatekeeper.
no, he's the team leader for court security.
Oi.
Not identified himself.
Yeah.
He is the team leader for the court security who has not identified
So
himself.
why would anyone come to court when they won't even let you in, and then when you don't go to court, they arrest you, come to your house and like...
You got a what? Well, they already asked me.
This one here has the security.
Hey, that's good. At least he's displaying it.
What's the date today?
22nd, is it?
23rd?
23rd. Okay, I'll just say it's the 23rd.
Okay, go.
Hi everybody, it's October 23rd, 2020. Stop laughing, Monica.
Sorry. Oh yeah, go.
Hi, it's...
No, I'll just ask you a question. Okay, 3, 2, 1. What's the date today?
23rd of October 2020.
Okay, so today's the 23rd of October 2020 and we're heading up to Tino Rangatira Day, the 28th, for the 28th of October at Waitangi. And as we were driving up, I drove up from like Wellington and Peter drove up from Hamilton. We were driving past Huntly and one of our mates who had brought a card had a court case today, but he was unfortunately in jail, Spring Hill Correctional Facilities. And so we had a kind of awesome day. I'll let Peter explain.
Oh, we went to the court and we got him out of jail. He still has to have a trial, but at least he's not locked up in prison. And yeah, we we basically got the judge to do the right thing for once.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But so this is like the intro into the video. So you're just going to see heaps of random slides of like
different things.
Yeah, different things that makes no sense.
But enjoy.
This entire video is going to make no sense after this. Okay.
So he admits jurisdiction by being there.
Yeah.
If you use a lawyer to argue jurisdiction, he's already in. How can you argue out from in? You get what I mean? Yeah, so we're out, we're arguing jurisdiction. We can't have a lawyer to argue jurisdiction because they've obtained leave of the court, which means they're already in the jurisdiction. And so a lawyer can only be you by proxy. He is you. He represents you. Right? So he is you. So if he's you and he's already obtained leave, you've admitted jurisdiction to the court.
Yeah.
So you can't have a lawyer to argue jurisdiction.
No, that's right.
And they've got to get your written consent, and they have to be consented that you could do that.
He can't be you unless you say he
Yeah. No.
You filmed me before in there, eh? Hi. We're just at Spring Hill prison. We're here to release a prisoner who was unlawfully detained.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was unlawfully detained.
I can't see your face, Peter. Anyway, so we're kind of pleased. Here comes his parents now, and they're going to go in and get their son out of jail.
They're supposed to send the bail papers through by email or something like that.
From Huntly
From
Courts.
Huntly Court.
Not even in here.
Nah, they wouldn't let us.
I was trying to get some numbers and everything.
Monica. Oh, God, I'm trying to get a film of you, but I don't know if I can. To inherent customary rights, so we're just trying to stick it to
The 1 A, yeah.
But you got to go back on November the 12th.
Yeah.
And they will,
So we're all going to go.
And then from there on, it's going to be, yeah.
So when Peter Hines and I used to go to court, now I never used to use the ture because I was doing my own thing, but I used to go to court with him because we were mates, right? Mm-hmm. When we used to go to court and he used to try and take the ture into the court, the security guards would stand in his way. And you'd go, "Oi, what's this all about?" And they'd go, "You can't come in here with that, mate." And you'll go, "But it's a matter of public legislation. This is a public forum, and I'm attending court today." And they go, "Yeah, all that's true, and you can come in, but you won't be coming in with that." And they would stand in the way and physically bar him from taking the ture into the court.
Okay, so what's happening today is we didn't use the ture. Well, I don't really know the ture very well, and so I don't use it. I use jurisdiction and inherent customary rights. We managed to get a guy out of court today from Spring Hill, out of jail. He was held in Spring Hill Correctional Facilities, and Was he using the two? Was it aspects?
That was how they got into that bind. Was that they, instead of taking time to listen and look at what was happening, they just started to go into their whenua procedures.
Okay, so we're just like, this video is basically explaining that when you go into court, you pretty much just choose the one. So you don't jump from te ture to inherent customary rights to jurisdiction. So a few
hot walkers.
Yeah, it annoys the judge, eh?
He'll turf you out.
And so what we've been winning with is the going into the court as the executor of the estate, but then backing it up with the jurisdiction thing, but also not discrediting the jurisdiction of the court or the judge in the court, but just simply claiming that we come under a different jurisdiction, which is the Te Moana Nui Kiwa jurisdiction that you can see on the card. And so that's a recognised nation, recognised country and nation. And so that's how we got around today's issue. But it was kind of fascinating because I'd never really seen anyone use te ture in court before, but it kind of jeopardised it slightly when because te ture doesn't work anymore, right? Does it?
It does, but you have to be really onto it with it. The normal things that people were doing under the ture are not working.
Yeah, so it used to work, but
yeah, well, it's had a lot of its pieces repealed now.
Okay, and the reason why they can't, but hang on, they can't repeal it if it was an imperial act, wasn't it?
They shouldn't be able to repeal it anyway, but they just do whatever they like, don't they?
Okay, and also because it is a government act.
Yeah,
is it a government act or is it an imperial act?
It's a government act.
Yeah, but this is kind of interesting because I kind of like the features of te ture that I found about like binding the judge and everything like that, but I never personally used it. But yeah, so I'm doing a video today, and we've just filmed at the Spring Hill prison, and I was just kind of explaining that we shouldn't jump from one defence to another. We just stick to the one. And our one so far is just remaining in the Te Moana Nui Kiwa jurisdiction and going in as the executor of the estate.
Which is on the private side of the court.
Yeah. But kind of interesting. Today was a good win.
Yeah. Well, we got him out of jail.
Yeah.
And got him so that he can now mount paperwork defence, you know?
Yeah.